Welcome back to my channel. I'm Katie.the.cosmic.sailor, and today we are going to be looking at what your superpower is. So I'm super excited to do this reading. I've been inspired by many superhero movies, many superhero shows, and yeah, I'm just really curious to see what your specific superpower is. So we have 3 groups to choose from today. The first group is going to be the shell. The second group is the Amethyst tower. And the third group is the Pyrite. So if you need time to pause the video, feel free to do so. I will have the timestamps linked in the description box below. That way you can click straight to your reading. If you feel drawn to more than one group, that's totally okay. That just means you have more than one message for you here today. But I'm just super excited. I want to go ahead and jump straight right in. So I will see you in your piles. Bye. Hello, if you chose the shell, this is your reading. So first we're going to look at your oracle cards, and then we're going to look at tarot. We're going to get some advice and guidance from the tarot book, and then we're going to end with some self-care cards. So I just want to jump straight in. The first thing that I was feeling with this pile, I feel like one of your superpowers is that you are a healer. I was also getting this energy of being able to transmute negative energy into positive energy or darkness into light. And I feel like one of your superpowers or your main superpower is that you are a healer, and you're almost like an alchemist as well, in the sense that you can change negative energy into positive energy. And it's interesting because with this pile I was feeling really drawn to this like missing like little nodule, if you can see that on this shell. But I feel like it adds character to the shell. It makes the shell even more beautiful because it's not perfect. And I feel like that's something that it's almost like you're able to see the beauty in people, and you're able to, your spirit guides are saying all who are broken are not lost, or just because some bad things have happened to you doesn't mean you're broken or you're unfixable. It's like this is your superpower. I feel like your energy is very healing, very calming. You could feel very connected to the ocean, or drawn to the ocean as well, or the ocean could be something that's very healing for you. You give off this very like motherly type energy, this very like welcoming, accepting, loving, nurturing energy. And I feel like that's one of your superpowers. I feel like this group could also resonate with being an empath, and already I feel like maybe for part of your life you viewed this power of being an empath or a highly sensitive person as a curse. But I feel like you could be at a point in your life where it's almost like you're starting to see it as the blessing that it is. And it's like I'm being shown Hercules and his story, and how he, in the beginning a lot of people didn't like him, a lot of people saw him as like a jinx or something like this, but he didn't let that stop him. I feel like the energy of Chiron is also coming through with this pile, the wounded healer. Somebody who has to go through and experience pain in order to know the power of it. And it's almost like you use your wounds as a source to heal not only yourself but others as well. And I feel like this is one of your superpowers. We're going to go ahead and look at your cards. I'm really curious to see. So we have the bear. The bear talks about spiritual awakening, awakening from hibernation, awakening from slumber. And with this card coming out as one of your superpowers, I feel like your energy, your presence is very like almost enlightening to people. I feel like this is one of your superpowers. It's like when people see you healing yourself, it's almost like inspiration for them to do the same. Very powerful. I'm also getting Leo energy with this group as well. We have Tea Dragon, relax. And then we have Lady of the Mirror in reverse, reflection, non-judgment. I just saw 411 on the clock timer, so 444 could be significant for you. I'm going to leave that in reverse. We have the Vulture Spirit, number 63. So we have the number 9 here. Nothing is wasted. Wow. Really powerful group. I feel like when it comes to this pile, your superpower, like I was saying, you may have viewed it as being a curse, or like, why did this have to happen to me? And I feel like you could have gone through certain things in life, experienced certain darker emotions, experienced this sort of stress or anxiety early on in life as something that's coming through. And I feel like it's almost like your spirit guides want you to view this as a blessing in disguise. And your spirit guides are also saying, only good things happen to me. I feel like this could be a very powerful affirmation for you. Only good things happen to me. Everything you've experienced in life, the darker things, the things that, you know, not a lot of people want to look at, things that happened in the shadows, it's like those things are your strength. Within those things lies your powers. And I'm also being drawn to, you know, we think about a lot of the Disney movies. In the beginning, a parent figure dies, or there's some type of traumatic thing that happens, but it's like, it's almost like development of your character to know your strength and to understand your power. You're very strong. You're a very, very strong individual. I feel like you have a very powerful soul. And the energy of like, it's like main character energy is coming through. I feel like for a lot of your life, maybe you saw yourself as like a sidekick or something like this, but it's like you're meant to be in the spotlight. You're meant to shine. You're meant to show your strength and to show your power. And it's interesting because I'm also getting, I want to flip this card real quick. We have Part of Fortune increase that came through. But I'm getting, it's like your power, your superpower is, oh my goodness, I just lost the message. What were you saying? What were they saying? It's like your superpower lies in the shadow, lies in the darkness. Nothing is wasted. And it's like how I was saying, only good things happen to me. I feel like you may have gone through, like I was saying, something traumatic or something that you may have seen as like a curse or something. I'm seeing specifically in childhood. And I feel like this is being highlighted specifically because it's like, this is your origin story. You're meant to go beyond that. You're meant to heal yourself so that you can heal others. I feel like with this pile, you don't even really have to do anything in order to heal people. And that's kind of what was coming through. It's like you heal people by being vulnerable. You don't have to go out there and show people your strength or do all of these things. It's like your superpower lies in being. Your superpower lies in your awareness of being in the present moment. Of being present with people is something that's also coming through. And sharing your own story. is something that is also, that's what I was going to say earlier. It's like sharing your story and practicing your vulnerability. And your spirit guides are saying your sensitivity is your superpower. I feel like you could be the type of person that attracts people who may have had similar pasts as you, or may have experienced loss in a similar way. That's something that's coming through. And your superpower lies in your ability to be vulnerable and share what has happened to you. Because it's like when you share what happened to you and you're able to break down your barriers and be in this space of showing people your wounds, it's like you're almost a source of inspiration for other people. It's like this light that I'm seeing. You're almost like a light of hope, a shining beacon of hope. And I feel like you could be some type of like Reiki healer, tarot reader, counselor, therapist, something like this, where it's like you help people open their hearts. Because I feel like one of your superpowers also is that you have a very open heart. With this card of the mirror coming in reverse, very interesting, because when this card is in reverse, it's like the reality is the reflection. The reality is the reflection. It's like, what does that mean? The reality is the reflection. I feel like you do a lot of inner work. And I feel like you help people start inner work journeys is something that's also coming through, just by sharing your story and sharing what you've had to overcome. Nothing is wasted. It's like your spirit guides, and we have the number 9 here twice. You could be a life path 9. But I feel like you're like an inspiration to people. By you being you and by you doing you, by you shining your light, it's very powerfully healing for other people, because I feel like you almost give off this energy like you've gone through things, that you've been through things, but you don't let it stop you. And people see, it's almost like they see this duality within you. They see that you probably, maybe if you've shared it with them or not, that you've experienced trauma or darker things in life, but they also see this like light, vibrant inner child come out when you're around, and it inspires people to overcome their challenges. You have this very like welcoming energy, and I feel like with this T dragon here, relax, you help people soften their edges when they're around you. I feel like that's another one of your superpowers. It's like you have this very soft quality about you, and it gives people this energy of like wanting to open up to you, wanting to share to you. I feel like you could encounter a lot of people in life where they just come up to you and they just start telling you about their trauma or their problems or their past. And I feel like at certain points in your life, you could see this as very draining. And you may think, if you're in the mindset of viewing this superpower as a curse, you would think, why do people trauma dump on me? But it's not that. It's like, this is your superpower. This is why people are coming to you, because you are meant to heal. Your energy is very healing. And it's like, I feel like these people, it's almost like it takes a lot for them to open up and share. And when they come to you, it's like they're not necessarily asking for advice or guidance. They're just letting down their barrier. They're just softening their borders. They're relaxing into the present moment. And I feel I'm also getting this energy, like when you talk to people or when people talk to you, they know that you're listening. You have this, I feel like one of your superpowers is also that you're very observant. And with this part of fortune, your spirit guides are saying, they're singing that, I think it's like a Britney Spears song. It's like, she's a lucky She's a star, but she cry, cry, cry in the, I don't even know how the song goes. Lonely, dark thinking, is there something missing in my life? Something like that. I don't know exactly how that song goes, but it's like, for me, when I hear that song, it's like, you are lucky because you've had to experience unluck. It's like, it's this message of duality that's coming through with this group as well. It's like, you have to experience the dark to know the light. You have to experience challenge of climbing the mountain to know what it feels like to be on top of the mountain. Really interesting. I want to get more tarot cards and see exactly what your superpower is. But the things that are coming through immediately, your superpower is this ability to soften people, this ability to open people's energy up just by you existing. And this, I feel like one of your superpowers is also this like awakening energy. I feel like you awaken people to their purpose. Because it's interesting too, I'm getting this message when we're trying to manifest something, when we're trying to create something, to build something, to grow something in the physical. A lot of times people think, oh, I need to go out there and do it. And that's part of it, yes. But another part that actually is just as important as creating and manifesting is letting go of what no longer serves you. Letting go blockages. It's like I'm seeing a hot air balloon that wants to fly and it has all these sandbags around it. When you're trying to manifest, when you're trying to, you know, in the example of the hot air balloon, when you're trying to make the air balloon fly, letting go of the sandbags is just as important as lighting the flame to let the air balloon go, if that's making any sense. It's like one of your superpowers is actually, like, I feel like you help people manifest. I feel like, but what they don't realize is you are helping them release blockages is something that's coming through. I feel like you could be a Reiki healer, definitely. I feel like you could work with the chakras, but I feel like you even if you don't necessarily do this, it's like a subconscious thing that you do. You help people release blockages. And I feel like it's because you yourself know the power of letting go, because you have experienced a lot. And some of it not so positive, especially with this vulture card being here. But that's, I feel like, one of your superpowers. And also this energy of non-judgment that's coming through. I feel like you have a very non-judgmental energy. And this is one of your superpowers. Is even, I'm just seeing like people who are rough around the edges or outliers to society are drawn to you. Because your superpower is this energy of non-judgment. This energy of softening. This very healer energy. I want to draw some more cards. Spirit guides of love and light. What is pile number 1 superpower? Your spirit guides are saying, don't let them get you down. It's like you are able to release intrusive thoughts. I feel like maybe you had a really dark period in your life where you gave into all these intrusive thoughts and you gave into all these negative emotions. And I feel like you learned that if you wanted to create happiness in your life, it wasn't about doing things that made you happy. It was about doing things that made you happy, but it was just as much, equally, if not more important, about letting go of the things that make you unhappy. Spirit guides of love and light. What is pile number 1 superpower? Okay. Let me just pick up these cards that fell. So we have the 8 of Pentacles. I feel like one of your superpowers is you being able to do the work on yourself. And that's something that like other people see, I think. We have a lot of Pentacles energy here. We have the Emperor, So that's Aries. And look at this. This is, I feel like, confirmation. Remember how I was speaking about that message of vulnerability? I feel like one of your superpowers is you have this very like vulnerable energy about yourself that you are able to protect. I feel like you have, with this Emperor here, it's like you could have a very like powerful masculine energy that is very protective of your feminine energy. And I don't like, even just you being you, I feel like is very healing to people. I feel like you don't have to necessarily go out and try and tell people, you know, this is what you need to do, this is how you heal yourself. You just kind of sit there and it's like people come to you. People come to you. Let's see, we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Swords. Very interesting. And we have this little like person sitting here. With this, anytime I see this person, I feel very connected to the Fae, to fairies. I feel, oh, sorry about that. What is pile number 1's superpower? With this Three of Swords here, I'm getting the message. Life is not without challenge. And I feel like this is something you know. Everybody experiences challenge. Everybody goes through certain things, whether internally or externally, whether they inflict it upon themselves or whether other people inflict it upon them. But I feel like you almost have mastered the difference between pain and suffering. Because life is not without challenge, but life can be without suffering. Sorry about that. And it's like, I feel like you help people heal themselves. You help show people the next step. The next step that they need to take. And you have this very like slow, methodical energy about you. I'm just seeing, you know, with the bear, when he comes out of hibernation, it's very slow. It's very, almost like dreamy. You know, when you wake up from sleep, and your brainwaves are in theta, I believe it's like you have the most power to manifest because you're just now opening your eyes. It's the same whenever you're just now going to sleep. I feel like you're very connected to spirit as well. You have this very like good balance in your energy. And I feel like people can sense this. You have this very good balance between your feminine and masculine energy. You have a very good balance between your spiritual and your physical energy, between your mental and physical energy as well. But I feel like one of your superpowers is, it's almost like you awaken people to themselves, to see what it is they need to do to become the best version of themselves, to see what they need to let go of in order to embrace this lucky, happy energy that you exude. You also, I feel like one of your superpowers is this very expansive energy. I feel like you could have a growth mindset as well as something that's coming through, as opposed to a fixed mindset. Sorry. My camera doesn't want to stay up. But I feel like you have this very like opportunistic mindset about you, where you see, or you're learning to see, challenge as almost like an opportunity, a way to grow, a way to expand. Very powerful, pile. And I feel like because I feel like you have a very powerful connection with spirit as well. And I feel like spirit, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, is always wanting to send you opportunities to grow. And because you see these challenges, or the universe could send you challenges to grow, because you see these challenges as opportunities to become more self-confident, to become more empowered, you exude this very like lucky energy, because the universe keeps sending you opportunities to grow. And it's like I'm seeing somebody being very thankful for everything that they've experienced in their life, because it's gotten them to this point. You have this very powerful healing energy about you. I feel like you could have been like a healer, a mystic mother is something that's coming through. I've never heard that word before. But it's like very in touch with the divine feminine. A witch is also coming through. And I'm also getting the message, I feel like you could use these healing qualities as like a career or something in this life, to help heal people, to help elevate the human consciousness, to help people release blockages in their system, to help people realize that their vulnerability is not a weakness, but a strength. And yes, it's important to protect your own vulnerability. Really powerful. I also am getting like Taurus energy here as well with this like bull. Really powerful. And you have a lot of Pentacles energy here, but I feel like the universe is always wanting to give you something. And I feel like you see the abundance that's all around you. I feel like this could be one of your superpowers as well. You have this very abundant mindset, you know. Even I feel like other people may see the things that you've gone through and been like, wow, how is this person still standing? And it's like your spirit guides are saying, I feel like one of your superpowers is what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. That's something that's coming through. That Kelly Clarkson song, I feel like that could be something that maybe your soul automatically knows. Maybe you know this consciously, but that's coming through. What doesn't kill me makes me stronger. Stand a little taller. What is it? I can't remember the rest of the lyrics. Something... when I'm lonely, I'm not alone. Something like that. I can't remember. But I'm going to go ahead and pull some self-care cards for you. I feel like it's very important to practice self-care, self-love, especially when you think about having a superpower, you know, or heroes. They're always giving to people, they're always helping people, but you have to remember to help yourself as well. So we're going to pull a self-care card for you. Spirit guides of love and light. What's something that pile number 1 can do to practice self-care, self-love? So we have sweet treat coming out for you. We have images of like fruit, but also candy here, muffins. And then on the back of the deck, we have connect with fire. So these are some things that you can do for self-care. Remembering to treat yourself to something sweet. This could be a smoothie, this could be a cupcake, you know, whatever resonates with you. I personally am a huge smoothie fan. I love smoothies. They're just so good. But that's your self-care. We're going to go ahead and pull some advice and guidance for you from the tarot book. Spirit guides of love and light. Can you please get some advice and guidance? So we have the King of Cups as your advice and guidance. I'll read this poem. You can feel free to screenshot this. Repeat this to yourself as advice and guidance from your spirit guides. Surrounded by gold, your value shines through. You learned the lessons, mastered the arts, and found new ways to see this life. What's next, you ask? Hold on to the creativity you struck. Logic and emotion flow, perfectly equal in your cup. Maintain your mastery and contain harmony. Life will proceed as it shall be. Very powerful, and it's interesting, we have this message of logic and emotion, again, this balance. I feel like your advice and guidance is to just be at peace, even if there is chaos around you, even if there is turmoil in your emotions. I feel like you've almost mastered this, but sometimes we have to remind ourselves. But I feel like that's all I have for you, pile number 1. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, please give me a like. Please comment down below and let me know if this resonated with you. And if you feel called, please subscribe to my channel. It really does help my channel grow. And we would love to have you be a part of the Sailor family as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And I will see you later. Bye. Hello. If you chose the Amethyst crystal, you are part of pile number 2. So we're going to look at your oracle cards, and then we're going to get tarot cards, and then we're going to get some self-care cards for you, and we're going to end with advice and guidance from the tarot book. But the first thing that I was feeling when connecting to your group, I feel like one of your superpowers is that you are very psychic. I feel like this group is very, very psychic. I feel like you have probably been psychic your whole life. I mean, everybody is psychic, but I feel like you were very aware that you were psychic at a young age. I feel like you were very connected to the divine from a very young age. And I'm also seeing like a small child who remembers their past life. A small child who asks certain questions that even adults aren't able to understand. I feel like you just came into this incarnation being very aware of your psychic gifts and abilities. I also feel like this group, like I was saying, very connected to your Akashic records. I feel like you could have experienced deja vu quite a bit, quite often, more often than the normal person. I feel like you also... what was I gonna say? Astral travel is something that's coming through. Prophetic dreams. I feel like you could experience or have a dream and then experience it happening is something that's coming through. I feel like writing your dreams, recording your dreams, it would be very beneficial for you. I also feel like this pile can connect with spirits. I feel like you could be a medium. I'm seeing just a small child who has a lot of imaginary friends around them. I feel like these were your spirit guides. I feel like you were probably like, I just am hearing eclectic, but also very in touch, very in tune with spirit from a very young age. I just saw 210 on the clock timer. That number could be significant for some of you. But I feel like you're able to connect with people's passed on loved ones as well, is something that's coming through. I want to go ahead and look at your tarot card or your oracle cards and see what you got. So we have the frog, very powerful. And the frog, this is, I believe, water. But the frog is also very connected to the earth element as well. And I feel like you're able to bring this like spiritual insight, spiritual wisdom through to the physical plane. You could be a psychic, tarot reader, a medium, a channeler. These are things that are coming through. Here's pile number 1, superpower. We have multitask with the coconut dragon. Let's get these down. We have Keeper of Scales, Fairness, Balance, and 8 plus 3 is 11, so you could see 11, 11. 11 is very significant for this pile. November is also coming through, the 11th of November. Pile number 1, superpower. We have Fox, Think on your feet in reverse. And then we have the number 9 again. So we have 9 twice with this pile. Number 18, Virgo, I analyze. Pile number 1, superpower. I feel like your superpower is also your intelligence is something that's coming through. I feel like you could have very significant Mercury placements or Virgo placements. Gemini is something that's also coming through with this pile. And Libra here as well with this Keeper of Scales. Very interesting. Pile number 2. I feel like you're very, very, very intelligent. And that's something I feel like that was almost kind of coming through with this frog. And your spiritual gifts, I feel like you're very gifted spiritually. I feel like you could have all of the clairs is something that's also coming through. But I feel like it's almost like your spirit guides are saying your mind is like a bridge between your spirit and the physical. And I feel like you have a very open mind. You could be very book smart, but I'm also getting like very street smart and very aware of things that are going on around you. I feel like it's almost like you can see behind the scenes. It's like very powerful intelligence that's coming through with this pile. I analyze. I feel like one of your superpowers is also that you're able to understand people's motives before they tell you. And I feel like you're just so in touch with your own intelligence or your own, it's like you understand how your brain works on such a deep level that you're able to understand how other people's brains works as well. That's something that's coming through. You could be very into like neuroscience or how the brain works or how the mind works. Very interesting. And I'm being drawn, I'm just seeing somebody like a psychic medium being like run through like a CAT scan or like a CT scan while they are channeling. And it's like, I feel like people really just want to like get into your brain and understand how you know the things that you know. Very powerful. And that's something that was coming through whenever I was channeling, just connecting with your guys' energy, because I feel like you were that type of child who would ask certain questions and your parents would be like, where did you hear that? But it's like you're just so connected to source, you're so connected to the divine that you just know things. Very powerful. You could also resonate with being an old soul as well. But with this multitask and Virgo here coming out together, I feel like one of your superpowers is that you're able to do a bunch of things or balance a lot of things at once. That's something that's coming through. With this balance card here as well, it's like, I feel like you could maybe have a lot on your plate. I feel like it could be hard for you to be overwhelmed though. I feel like with this pile, I feel like you'd be very good in like a crisis is something that's also coming through. I feel like that's one of your superpowers. I feel like you're able to keep almost this like level-headedness about you, this like peace and presence amidst chaos is something that's also coming through, you know, like, and that's why I feel like you'd be very good in like an emergency or a crisis or something like this. I feel like you're the type of person who, if there was a lot of chaos going on or if there's like a certain emergency happening, people would look to you in this way, and I feel like they'd be like, what do we do? What do we do? And you would be able to be like, okay, this is what we need to do. This is what needs to happen. Very like calm and grounded energy is also coming through with this pile. You could maybe resonate with being an earth sign as well. That's Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. We have Virgo here significantly, so you could have very significant Virgo placements. But I feel like this is one of your superpowers, is this very like calm, level-headed energy. I feel like you could also be a teacher of some sort. Whether you actually are a teacher, I feel like one of your superpowers is being able to break things down and explain things to people in a way that people can understand. And it's very interesting because I feel like you just have a very malleable mind is something that's coming through, where you're able to understand all perspectives of something. And when we think about teachers, the really, really good teachers, the people who can explain something to somebody else, it's because they know it on such a deep level. They have such a deep level of understanding that they're able to explain and teach. And I feel like this is one of your superpowers as well. Very powerful. Fairness. I feel like one of your superpowers is also you have this very fair quality about you, where you're able to, the word cosmic justice keeps coming through. Cosmic justice. It's like you're able to understand why the universe is the way it is. And your spirit guides are saying life is actually very fair. We experience the things that we need to experience, even if our human mind attaches itself to a story or an identity and says, this isn't fair, I don't know why this is happening to me. I feel like you have such this understanding of cosmic justice that you are always on the right path. Everything is happening exactly as it should. Very smart, very intelligent. I feel like you could be very, very book smart, but the message of street smart is coming through as well. And I feel like it comes from this power of yours to observe and analyze. And really, it's when you're trying to understand, I feel like you could be a very good detective as well. But it's the really good detectives are able to get into the minds of the criminals and analyze and understand what their brain was thinking in those certain moments, and able to solve and crack cases. Very powerful group. I feel like you could also be I don't know if this is an actual thing or if it's just in movies and TV, but the medium or the psychic who works on detective cases, I feel like that could be you as well, where you're able to see the victim or the person who was hurt or harmed right before, and able to get answers and uncover things that people who were just looking at it from a pure factual level wouldn't. Very connected to spirit. Oh, I love this energy. We're gonna go ahead and get some more cards. I feel like you could be a tarot reader as well. I don't know if I said that. I saw 12:18 on the clock timer, 12:21. Spirit guides of love and light. What is pile number 2's superpower? I feel this very deep connection to other people. You could resonate with being a life path 2, a life path 9. I feel like you have such this deep understanding of self that you're able to understand others at such a deep level as well. What is pile number 2's superpower? So we have the Lovers. I'm gonna flip these all upright. Oh. Sorry about that. So we have the Lovers that flipped out. This is also Gemini energy. We have the Princess of Pentacles or the Page of Pentacles. Wow. And I'm just being drawn to all these animals. I feel like you could communicate with animals as well. Very psychic pile. I feel like you just kind of have this knowing. And then we have the Two of Torches. I'm getting this message, whether you realize this or not, I feel like you could use your psychic abilities to make decisions. And this like claircognizance, this like clear knowing to make decisions is something that's also coming through. I feel like you're very aware in the present moment. I feel like you're also, one of your superpowers is also that you're very aware of your own thoughts and you're very aware of how your brain works. It's almost like I'm seeing this person who's always like one step ahead. I feel like you could also be really good at chess. That's something that's coming through. Let me get one more card, please. What is pile number 2's superpower? Okay. We have the Four of Cups that came out. Very interesting. And we have this person who has their feet like dipped in the water and they're laying on the beach. I just keep getting this like strong message of you have this very good balance between the physical and almost like your emotional, the physical and the spiritual, earth and water. You could have like very balanced earth and water in your chart. Something that's also coming through. And then on the back of the deck we have the Fool. I'm going to flip it upright though. Really interesting. A lot of messages, I just keep being drawn to this like duality. I feel like very specific messages coming through. Only take this if this is confirmation for you. I feel like you're almost coming through as like you could be somebody's spirit guide. I feel like your spirit could be somebody's spirit guide. But we just have this strong message of duality. We have the Two of Torches with somebody looking through two doors, and then with this Fool card, I'm just being drawn to this like energy of like push and pull. You know, she's about to step off the cliff, but this dog is like pulling her back. Very connected to higher realms. You have a very, I feel like one of your superpowers is also, you have this very powerful discernment where you're able to look into other people's motives. Why are they doing the thing that they're doing? Is it from a place of love? It's like, or is it from a place of fear? I feel like one of your superpowers is this power of choice. I feel, and that's why I feel this very like strong awareness coming through, because your spirit guides are saying everybody has free will, but not everybody taps into this deep level of being aware of the present moment. And it's like they let their thoughts control their reality. I feel like you have such a powerful mind, a very powerful, you just have such a powerful awareness that you're able to control your mind is what's really coming through. Where you don't let your mind get the better of you and you realize, I am in control here. I can choose which way I go based on what I want to feel, based on the outcome I want. And this, I just see somebody also who marches to the beat of their own drum with this Fool here. And you know how the outfit she's wearing is very like eclectic, very eccentric. I feel like this is one of your superpowers as well, is like you're so in touch with yourself that like I feel like you released judgment on yourself a long time ago. Where you no longer are like, I'm worried if I wear this how people will think about me. I don't see you being that type of person. I see you being the type of person that's like, what do other people think about themselves? And that's also something that's coming through is like, I feel like you have such an understanding of yourself that you have this very like deep, broad understanding of other people, because you know that everything is connected. That what is made in me that makes me conscious is the same thing that makes other people conscious. Very powerful. Very, very powerful pile. And I was mentioning before the Akashic Records, one of your superpowers is like you're able to simultaneously see the past while seeing the future because you're so in touch with the present moment. Because you've slowed down. It's like I'm seeing somebody, what is that movie? The Matrix, where they like slow down to such a point that they're able to dodge bullets. I feel like that's almost like your superpower that's coming through, you know? Neo in the Matrix has such a deep understanding of the Matrix, of the reality that he's in, that he's able to like bend time, dodge bullets. And it's interesting because in that movie as well, there is an oracle in that movie, and I feel like you give off that energy as well. You know, the people in the Matrix, they go to the oracle because she is able to give them insights. Because she like understands the illusion of time, something that's also coming through. Very powerful group. I love this energy. I feel like frogs could be a very significant synchronicity for you as well, or just animals in general. But we're going to go ahead and get you some self-care. I was mentioning in pile number 1, you know, when we think about superpowers and heroes and people who have this like higher destiny to protect and serve also have to remember to take care of themselves as well. And so that's why I want to pull some self-care for you as well. Spirit guides of love and light, can we please get something that pile number 2 can do to practice self-care, self-love, to fill up their cup? We have make an altar coming out for you. I feel like something that you could do is really practicing connecting to your spirits in a more symbolic way. I feel like you're always connected to your spirits, to your spirit guides, to your higher self, but taking time to sit down, meditate, connect with crystals, connect with things that you enjoy, you love, and just setting out like a sacred time, a sacred place for you to do this, I feel like would be very healing for you. And then on the back of the deck, we have drink tea. So certain herbal teas, we have the number 21. I feel like that could be significant for you as well. Certain teas I feel like could be very healing for you, very grounding, depending on what you want to do, whether it's relaxation, whether it's energizing. I feel like also just maybe practicing mindfulness when it comes to drinking tea. You know, how does the cup feel? How does it smell when you breathe in? When you breathe out, you're cooling off the tea as you're holding it, taking a sip, you know, mindfully drinking tea. Some self-care and self-love for you. So now we're going to pull some advice and guidance from the tarot poem book. Advice and guidance for pile number 2. Spirit guides of love and light. And please get some advice and guidance for pile number 2, please. So we have the 8 of Pentacles, and this is actually one that I kind of wrote on. Just ignore this, or you don't have to. These are just my notes. So the 8 of Pentacles. Thank yourself for working on you, for cultivating your skills and your knowledge too. Mastery over yourself strings along the want to improve and learn. The skill with the most return. So I just kind of wrote on the side, you're doing great. Practice your intuition. Knowing and believing, beginner's mind, and remaining curious. Allow yourself to receive. That could be significant for some people here. Feel free to take a screenshot and use this poem as advice and guidance for later on. But I feel like that's all I have for you, pile number 2. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, please give me a like. Please comment down below and let me know if this resonated. And if you feel called, please subscribe to my channel. It really does help my channel grow. And we would love to have you be a part of the Sailor family as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And I will see you later. Bye. Hello. If you chose the Pyrite, you are part of pile number 3. So we're going to look at your oracle cards, we're going to get some tarot cards, and then we're going to end with some self-care, and we're going to pull some advice and guidance for you out of the tarot book. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. What is your superpower pile number 3? I feel like this group is coming through as I feel like I always have one pile who is very connected to ancient wisdom, ancient knowledge, ancient Egypt is something that's also coming through. And the Ascended Masters is also coming through. I feel like this group's superpower is their ability to connect to higher knowledge, higher wisdom. You could resonate with being with another pile as well, but I keep seeing this image of like the all-seeing eye. I'm also getting this very like creative energy that's coming through with this group. I feel like this group could also be my fairy pile, because I'm just feeling this like very like fast-paced, fast-moving energy with this group as well. Group number 3, I feel like your superpower, you have a lot, honestly. I feel like you have a lot of strengths. I feel like you're very connected to your inner child. I feel like this is one of your superpowers as well. And it's almost like your spirit guides are saying you are the most connected to Source when you are a child. And when you're living in pure awareness. Very interesting. I feel like the message of like a child book author is something that's coming through as well with this pile. Pile number 3, superpower. I feel like you're able to relate to children on such a like deep level. I feel like it's almost like you are coming from a place of being so connected to your inner child. And also I feel like one of your superpowers is also this teacher type energy that's coming through. This very like playful, fun, but knows that there's a deeper meaning to everything. I feel like you could also be really good at explaining things to people. That's something that's also coming through. I'm going to go ahead and look at your tarot or your oracle cards. So we have the Spider. Really powerful. I feel like you could resonate with being an indigo child, a crystal child, a starseed as well is something that's coming through. I feel like you're very integrated, because when I'm getting the spider energy, I'm thinking back to how we all have a spirit animal. We all have a spirit totem. So does the collective conscious. We all have a shadow spirit animal as well. This is a spirit animal that very closely works with and relates to our shadow. And the collective shadow of humanity is the spider. The collective shadow animal is the spider. You know, a lot of people are afraid of spiders. A lot of people don't like the energy of spider, and that's because it's the shadow. But within the shadow animal of the spider is so powerful. You know, it's a powerful creator. It's a powerful dreamer. Very interesting that that's coming through. I feel like one of your superpowers is also this energy of like the lion that's coming through. Being surrounded by a bunch of sheep, or like the one person that goes off and strays from the path. Very interesting. I feel like this group could also resonate with being like an entrepreneur or a content creator or somebody who does something that's not I'm not trying to say not accepted by society, but not what most people do, if that makes sense. And I feel like that's your superpower. This Aquarius energy is also coming through with this pile, but I feel like one of your superpowers is able to step off the path and create your own path. Let's see what else you have. We have energy with the coffee dragon. wanted to show you this image of this dragonfly here. I feel like one of your superpowers is also that you're very connected to the Akashic records. And I feel like you're very connected to the divine mind is something that's coming through. Very knowledgeable about people, about society, about everything that goes into building a society is something that's coming through. Very powerful. I feel like one of your superpowers is almost like you're able to see beyond the illusion. You're able to see beyond what people tell you. I feel like you really could resonate with another pile here as well. But it's interesting because, as I was mentioning, you know, going off the path, going in a different direction. I feel like this group could be very into psychedelics, very into alternate forms of healing, different ways. I'm hearing just like psychedelic medicine is something that's coming through, because when thinking about, you know, the way society works, you know, we're told, okay, you graduate from high school, you go to college for 4 years, and then you get a 9-to-5 job. You do these things, and people do these things without ever questioning. I feel like your superpower is this ability to question what you're actually doing, why you're actually here. You know, and we think about, like, whenever I'm thinking about coffee, you know, coffee can be seen as a drug. Coffee can be seen as a stimulant, but not a lot of people see it that way. But there are people out there in society who see other drugs or other forms of alternative medicine as being bad, or we shouldn't do those things, but yet they drink coffee every morning. They pop a Xanax before they go to work. They smoke cigarettes all day. You know what I mean? And they're doing drugs, but it's like this form of hypocrisy that lives within society. I feel like one of your superpowers is this ability to question what you're doing, why you're doing it. And I feel like this is your superpower. And it's interesting that you had the spider come through, and the spider is the collective shadow. I feel like you're not afraid to call people out. I feel like you're not afraid to provoke people is something that's also coming through. It's almost, I feel like you're very integrated in your shadow as well, and I feel like this is one of your superpowers. And it's interesting because I'm getting the message. We think about supervillains and how they're bad or they're wrong, you know, but when we look at the origin story of a supervillain, it's very similar to the origin story of superheroes. We think about like Thor and Loki, you know. This group is giving like Loki energy. And he, in the beginning, you know, of the Marvel movies, he was seen as like a villain, you know, but he had this very like chaotic energy about him that the people around him viewed as bad or negative, but he loved his brother so much, you know? And I don't think Loki was a supervillain. I feel like he was just misunderstood. Let's see what else we have. So we have the Fire Prince coming out for you. Optimism, aggression. It did come out in reverse. We have the Frog. Very interesting because the other pile also got the Frog, but not in this same deck. I feel like if you were drawn to pile number 2, I recommend watching it. But we have the Frog Spirit, clear the clutter in reverse. And then we have third house messages with the number 9, 27, and then 10. And we have 40 here. Those are significant for you. Pile number 3. There's a lot of energy here with this group. I feel like you have, it's almost like I feel like your strengths were viewed as bad or things people shouldn't do. But I feel like once you tap into this energy of viewing your strengths in a different light, of clearing this like negative energy around how you view yourself, I feel like you are a very powerful person. I feel like you have the ability to be a medium, to connect with spirit. I feel like this is one of your superpowers as well. And you also have this very like, I feel like you have a very good ability to teach and talk about things that maybe society views as taboo. And your spirit guides are saying nothing is either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. And I feel like you have this ability to really tap into the collective shadow. You have this very scorpionic energy with this group as well. Scorpio is coming through, Aries, Gemini with the 3rd house here. But it's like, I feel like one of your superpowers is being able to recognize that the shadow isn't bad and that certain things that people do aren't bad. There's no such thing as bad. I feel like your spirit guides are they're coming through as almost like ascended masters, and we have that imagery of the all-seeing eye again here. Very connected to ancient Egypt. I can't remember if I mentioned that as that, but I feel like, give me 1 second. Pile number 3, superpower. I feel like you are almost an alchemist. I feel like this is one of your superpowers. You're able to transmute energies. And with the fire prince here, I feel like you also have a superpower of seeing the beauty within everything and seeing the purpose within everything. And with this imagery of this pearl here, it's like, I feel like you're able to see the pearl within society. The bad things. I feel like you could resonate with being a builder. Somebody who's meant to tear down structures that no longer are serving people and build new structures. And I keep being drawn to the imagery of the pyramids. You know, how much time and energy it took to build the pyramids. But I feel like you have this energy about you where you could, one of your superpowers is being able to build things up. I feel like a lot of people may see this as like, oh, they just want to tear things down, they want to make something new, and you want to change things. But I feel like that's your superpower, is your ability to change, your ability to transform things that are no longer serving people. But of course, there's people out there who are very attached to certain ideas, to certain beliefs, even if it is harming them. Really powerful. And I just keep being drawn back to this spider. You know, spiders are very helpful in society, but not a lot of people view them as this. Spiders are they like clear, they get rid of insects, you know, but people see them as like destructive or scary. I feel like you have this very like darker energy about you. You know what I'm seeing somebody who dresses in like all black eyeshadow, black nail polish, but has this very like soft, kind, caring, compassionate heart. And who is like handing flowers out to little kids. And with this clear out the clutter coming in reverse, I feel like you have almost this superpower to clear energy that is no longer serving people. I feel like you're almost this like walking transmutation is something that's coming through. Walking contradiction. But I feel like one of your superpowers, I feel like you're very connected to spirit, able to channel messages and things that need to come through. And I feel like this message of like being able to build something that helps people, build something that connects people to themselves is coming through with this pile. We're going to go ahead and look at your tarot cards. I feel like you also have a lot of energy is something that's coming through. And I was getting this message earlier about ADHD. I feel like this pile, I'm not diagnosing you. If you've never been diagnosed with ADHD, do not take that as me diagnosing you. If you do have ADHD, take it as confirmation. But it's like, I'm seeing people, somebody who has ADHD, and as a child, people tell them, oh, you need to take medication, you don't need to be like that, something's wrong with you. But it's like a superpower, because people with ADHD are able to multitask on a bunch of different things. They have more energy than the regular human being. It's almost like they're living with like their senses already opened. And people put them on medication to lower that energy and bring them back down to earth. But that's like their superpower. Having ADHD is not something that needs to be like, oh, these kids are bad, these people are too much. That's your superpower, is being too much, having all these ideas, having these visions, having this creative energy. And I just, when I think about fire, how fast it spreads. I feel like that's one of your superpowers, is like you have such this expansive awareness, this expansive energy that's meant to be put towards something to build, to create. Very powerful. I want to go ahead and look at your tarot cards. Spirit guides of love and light. I'm also I feel like connecting with fire could be very healing for this group. Fire gazing. But I feel like looking at the fire could be very helpful for you, very healing for you. I feel like you could get downloads or messages from fire as well. I feel like this could be one of your superpowers, being able to fire gaze. I'm also seeing somebody like draw images based on the fire. I feel like you have this very creative energy about you, and I feel like this is one of your superpowers as well, being able to create something from nothing and being able to see a bigger picture, see a bigger vision for how things could be better. Spirit guides of love and light. What is pile number 3's superpower? What is pile number 3's superpower? So we have Aries coming through again, the Emperor, and we have the Sun. That's Leo energy. Both of these are fire signs. And I'm also getting the message of desire. I feel like you have this ability, this superpower to see how things could be better. And you have this desire, this passion to create a place that would be harmonious for people to live in, that would create this joy and this connection to people's inner children. Very powerful. I feel like children could be drawn to you. That's something that kept coming through. I feel like you could be very conventionally attractive, or just your energy is very magnetic. But with this Emperor card coming through, I feel like one of your superpowers is that you're almost giving this like trailblazer energy. This energy, to start things. Your superpower is being able to start things. And that's something that, when we think about people with ADHD, that's something they're really good at. They're really good at starting new things, pursuing new things. Not really good at continuing those things, or finishing the projects. And maybe that's something that you could work on. But I feel like your superpower, you could have a lot of hobbies, a lot of different interests, a lot of things that you love doing. And this is one of your superpowers. I feel like you could have a lot of careers in this life. I don't feel like you're meant to be in one specific job for the rest of your life or live in one specific place. I feel like life path number 5 is also coming through with this group as well. Life path number 3 as well. But we have the number 4 here twice. I feel like you are a master builder, and that's one of your superpowers, is being able to create. Let's see. Spirit guides of love and light. What is pile number 3? Superpower. I feel like this card wants to come out. What is pile number 3's superpower? We have the 9 of Swords in reverse. I actually want to leave it in reverse. I feel like one of your superpowers or your superpower is creating this love and this joy and this light despite things that you have been through, despite what's going on in the world, despite how people tell you you should be living your life or what you should be doing. This like creative energy is coming through, I feel like is one of your superpowers. And I'm seeing like somebody as a child drawing a lot, specifically on their homework or something like this, and people or parents getting mad and being like, no, you can't do that. But you can. You know? And I feel like you have this deep connection to your inner child. I feel like you could have done a lot of inner child healing, releasing a lot of the doubts, a lot of the insecurities that other people have put on you. I feel like is one of your superpowers as well. And just being able to be in this light, being able to shine your light and show your love to the world despite how other people have treated you. I feel like you could resonate with being the black sheep in the family as well, is something that's coming through. But you just have such this like fun, loving energy about you. And I feel like this is one of your superpowers, is being able to have fun and laugh and be joyful despite other people's negativity, despite other people's negative projections onto you. This very optimistic. I feel like you, one of your superpowers is your optimism. Let's see. Can we please get 2 more cards? What is pile number 3's superpower? Okay. So we have the Queen of Swords coming out as your superpower. Wow. This to me is giving this energy of like, you know what needs to be done. You know what needs to be said. You know what needs to be healed. I feel like you are the type of person to look your shadow in the eye and go towards the things that make you feel afraid, because you understand that you will experience growth, you will experience expansion. And it's almost like, I feel like you always prove yourself right. I'm getting this energy of like somebody who chases or goes after things that make them feel afraid to prove that the only thing that exists in this universe is love. Because when we come to such an understanding and such a knowing of our own shadow, we realize that it's only love. And I'm being drawn to just this like understanding, you know, like I'm seeing somebody who's afraid of the dark. And when they look at the darkness from a different perspective, they realize that the darkness is only the absence of light. That it's all only light. Very powerful. It's all love. Everything is for you. Everything was made for you. And then we have the King of Swords. Wow. The King and the Queen here. I feel like one of your superpowers is that you have overcome your demons, your inner demons. You've been able to integrate your shadow. This message of not being afraid anymore is something that's coming through. I feel like this is one of your superpowers, of not being afraid anymore. On the back of the deck, we have the Hierophant. Very powerful. And I just love this imagery, this Hierophant. I feel like you could be a teacher of some sort and share the things that you've learned. And your spirit guides are saying everything you've gone through was a lesson, and it taught you something about yourself. I feel like people could come to you for insights. And I feel like this is also something, I feel like this is why children could be drawn to you, because they know that you're going to tell them the truth. You know, a lot of times people try to protect children and not tell them certain things because they don't want them to experience the darker side of life. But I feel like as a child, I feel like you were very curious, very discovery. You wanted to know things. And I feel like it could have led you into trouble or down certain rabbit holes that maybe adult figures didn't want you to go down. But it's like once you learned those things, you had a deeper understanding of yourself and the world that you live in. Very powerful group. And I feel like this is your superpower. I feel like your shadow is your superpower. Your inner child is your superpower. You give off this energy of being such a whole person, such a complete person. Very powerful. We're going to go ahead and end with some self-care. And I love that you have the King and the Queen. And it's interesting, the Queen and the Queen of Swords, there's these eyes like looking down on her. But once she's evolved to the King, the eyes are like on the chest of the character. Oh. Sorry, my camera keeps wanting to fall forward. But it's interesting how I feel like you've gone through a phase in your life where you did the dirty work, where you went places that you shouldn't have to understand deeper parts of yourself. And it's made you this more integrated person. And it's interesting that in this card, she has her sword up like she's ready to fight. And then he has his sword down like he understands there's no need to fight. I feel like people could project onto you a lot of negativity. But I feel like you understand that there's no such thing as darkness, only absence of light. That's something that keeps coming through. This higher knowledge, this higher wisdom, this connection to divine. Very powerful. This message of understanding is coming through. If people only understood their shadow, they wouldn't let it control their lives. I feel like also one of your superpowers is the power to persevere. That's one last thing that was coming through. I just keep channeling with this group. I feel like you have this very... Sorry about that, my camera died. But I feel like you have this very curious energy, like I keep just pulling things out. Very open energy as well. We're going to go ahead and end with some self-care for you. So I'm pulling self-care because, you know, people who have superpowers, superheroes also need to take time, even though they're helping so many people along their path, need to take time to take care of themselves and remember themselves. So we're going to pull some self-care for you. Spirit guides of love and light, can we please get some self-care for pile number 3? Something that's pile number 3. So we have nourish your temple coming out. This could have to do with energy work. This could have to do with connecting to nature, feeding yourself things that fill yourself up. And then we also have pleasure. So I don't even know if I should. Here, I'll put it like this because I don't want to get banned, but you know what this means. And this could even have to do with just doing things that bring you joy, or doing things that bring you a sense of pleasure, not even having to be sexual in nature. I mean, it can, but it doesn't have to be. Just doing things that bring you joy, that make you feel good. And we're going to go ahead and end with some advice and guidance for you from the tarot book. Spirit Guides of Love and Light. Can we please get some advice and guidance for pile number 3, please? Advice and guidance for pile number 3. Okay, so we have the Ten of Swords come out twice. Wow, and the Ten of Swords coming out as your advice and guidance. So feel free to take a screenshot of this, but it says, as time loops and life and love and lore halt, find the peace in such subtractions. A life with less isn't a lesser life. Perhaps it's deceit disguised as a bullet dodged. Find a way to be while being without. Wow, really powerful. And that message of being the builder that was coming through. When we build something new, we have to destroy something old that's no longer serving us. And you could be in this time period of letting go of what no longer serves you, letting go of these old intrusive thoughts, of these old negative thoughts that are holding you back. It says a life with less isn't a lesser life. Letting go of the blockages, letting go of what no longer serves you is going to help you manifest. I feel like looking into the law of attraction is something that's also coming through, but that's your advice and guidance. And I feel like that's everything I have for you, pile number 3. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, please give me a like. Please comment down below and let me know if this resonated. And if you feel called, please subscribe to my channel. It really does help my channel grow. And we would love to have you be a part of the Sailor family as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And I will see you later. Bye.